We'll start the webinar in a little while. We'll wait for 2 more minutes for the participants to join. And we will start our webinar exactly after 2 minutes. Okay, we have new participant here. Welcome to you. And we are just starting the webinar in a minute. Waiting for other participants to join. And in the meanwhile, I will be explaining to you that during the webinar, you can type your questions in the chat, and I will try to cover all your queries. And if I will also leave some minutes, about 10 minutes at the end of the webinar, so we can cover any unanswered questions or any questions that you want to that you still want after completing the complete webinar. The agenda of the webinar I will be explaining in just a few minutes. Okay, so I think we should start now. And as you know, that the title of today's webinar is the PMP certification process. And the exam preparation package that we offer, a comprehensive exam preparation package. I am representing EDDS Consulting and the founder and chief consultant and chief trainer at EDDS Consulting, and we are the partners with VM-EDU and PM Study. And our trainings are accredited by Project Management Institute. We have an RAP code that is 2053, and our PMP prep course has an activity number, which you can see on the slide. So we have a comprehensive package. So first of all, I will be explaining in detail the PMP certification process, how you submit your application, how you can become a registered PMI member, what is the application review process, how you can schedule the PMP exam date and venue, and what are the different packages, different options for the exam preparation that we offer. So let's start here. The first step that I will be explaining is to register as a PMI member. As I have written that this is recommended, but not mandatory. It is recommended because you can have different benefits of PMI registration. One of the benefit is a financial benefit, that you get some discounts on the PMP exam fee. And besides that, I think I should show you the PMI membership page, and let me go to that. Okay. I think you are able to now see this PMI membership page. And here, as you can see that you have different options, different types of memberships. One is the individual membership, and then you have a student membership, then there is a retiree membership. The most relevant is the individual membership. The other two memberships is a student membership where you are a full-time degree granting, registered in a full-time, enrolled in a full-time degree program in a university or a college, and you get a discount uh, on the PMI membership fee. The other is the retiree membership, and if you have been in good standing for 5 consecutive years, a PMI member, and you are retired from an active employment, then only you are eligible for the $65 retiree membership. The most relevant is so the individual membership, and the membership fee is $129, and plus a one-time application fee. This $129, it makes you a member for a whole 1 year, and that you get a renewal of your membership by repeating this payment after the end of the year. Uh, this is recommended. You have different benefits of the membership. Uh, if we go to let's join PMI page. Since we haven't yet registered, so it's going. Let's go to the register now page, and on the register now page, there you can see a summary of some of the benefits of PMI membership. These are some of the benefits. Advocacy: as a member, you will have an opportunity to make a difference in the profession. You can communicate with your community. You will have an access to a different body of knowledge, different knowledge sources on the PMI website, and you have an opportunity to participate in free webinars and free podcasts, etc. There is a lot of resources available on PMI membership page. So, and a professional development by using the tools, templates, articles, guides, etc. and sources community, you will be able to communicate with and link with 1 million strong community of project management professionals the world over. Besides that, you can discover lots of more membership benefits here. And in order to create your login, you have to enter this information, your personal information here, then your professional information, company name, job title, etc., and your account information, username, the passwords that you want to use. Now, in order to save time, I have actually created an account to use in this during this webinar. So let's go back to our presentation, and let me share with you the presentation page. So we have covered this register as a webinar. It is recommended, but not mandatory. You get a small financial benefit as well, because as we will see later, you have to pay an amount for the PMP exam, and you get a full $100 discount if you are a PMI member on the PMP's exam fee. So that is also a financial benefit that you get besides the others that we have just seen. The second step is to submit your application, documenting required experience and contact hours. We'll look into this in detail. And so this is the certification process page. And as you can see here, that if it says that you're ready to apply, it means that if you're registered with PMI and you are ready with your with all the information that that is required, which we will see just now, then you start your application process. It is recommended that you gather all the information before applying your process of before starting your process of creating your application on PMI website, because uh, PMI gives you a window of 90 days to complete your application and submit it, starting from the day when you start creating your application. And after, if those 90 days lapse, then you have to start creating your application anew. Start from you have to create a fresh application. So it is recommended that you gather all the required information beforehand, and then you start creating your application. Now, let's assume that we have all the information that is required to enter into the PMP application, and we go to the Apply Now page. So we need a username and a password. In order to save time, I have created an account. So let's log in, and this will take us to the application page. It's logging in. So we are now logging in into the online certification application page. Now, these are the different certification programs that are available. Since I have entered some sample information in the PMP application that I will be using in this during this webinar, so you are seeing here it is saying that continue working on PMP application. Otherwise, if you start a fresh application process, you will be seeing the same statement as in the other application certification programs. You will be seeing here apply for PMP credential. So let's go into this. Now you can see here there are three steps for the PMP exam. The first is the application, and it goes up to the submission of the application. Then there is a schedule exam uh, process, and when you submit the application, your application is reviewed, and you get an approval from PMI. And after getting the approval from the PMI, you schedule your exam, you take the exam, and pass the exam, and in the third step, you will be able to see your certificates and your results. So in this area, in the contact address, I have just entered some information here. We go into the form and see what are the different fields that are to be entered. You are entering your contact address. You in the description you enter, for example, my home, and your country, your address, city, province. This is simple. Zip code. Click save, and if you want to add multiple addresses, then you can add another contact address as well. When it is saved, it takes you to the page where you can add another information. This you have entered your home address. If you want to add your work address, you can um, click here and add your work address as well. So this is complete, and we move on to the we say save and continue. This is a simple process. It will continue, take you step by step forward, and will ask you all the information that is required for submission of the PMP exam application. Here you have to enter your contact information. You enter your email. If you want to add multiple emails, you add another email here, and you will then mark your preferred communication email. And the same is for your phone number. Uh, you can add multiple phone numbers, and you will mark one of them as your preferred contact number. So save and continue. So here you will enter your attained education. You have different fields. There is one option on the top which says that you graduate from a PMI GSE accredited university programs. If you click yes here, then you will go to a page where you have a list of all the universities or colleges that are accredited, those programs that are accredited with PMI, and you can select from the list. But if your university or your degree program is not listed in this list, you can just you can also enter your own. Uh, if that is not listed here, you click on this. No, I attended another university program. If you click that, go to the different page where you can yourself enter the name of your university and your degree program and the other information uh, that is required on that page. So you enter here your university, country, the education institute's address, city, the zip code, then the attained education, your degree level, which is master's degree, doctorate, bachelor, etc. And you select the other options, year and the field of study. When you enter this, save and continue, and you can enter multiple as well. Now you move on to the requirements page, where there is some description of the requirement. And we will go through this requirement. You need some project management experience, which says that on the application you will be required to document the experience you have accrued leading and directing projects under general supervision and within the constraints of the scheduled project. We will cover this eligibility later as well during the webinar. The experience requirement to be specific are for the people who hold a 4-year degree. They are required to produce a minimum of 3 years of experience, including 36 months of non-overlapping experience in project management, which should present a total of 4,500 hours of your work. And how you will be entering those hours, we will look into this later during this application process. When we go to this point, PM experience, we will enter. We'll see how we will enter these hours of our experience in the application and complete the minimum 4,500 hours of requirement. If the candidate has a secondary degree or a high school diploma or a 2-year degree program or a global equivalent of that, then he will or she will have to produce 5 years of experience of non-overlapping 60 months of experience, and in that the person should have 7,500 hours of project management experience. And one more thing to note is that when you submit your application, this experience, either it is a 3 years or 5 years, then this should be in the last consecutive 8 years of your professional career. And for the project management education, you need at least 35 contact hours of specific instruction that addressed learning objectives in project management. And these 35 hours means that 1 hour of classroom instruction equals 1 hour of 1 contact hour needed to meet this requirement. So this is an overview of the requirements of the experience and education to apply for the PMP certificate exam. Now let's move forward. Now this is you have now come to the eligibility worksheet, which says that PM experience required is 36, and you have qualified 8 and still need 28. This is a summary of the experiences of the inputs that you have entered in the PM experience and education fields. So let's move on and we go to the PM experience area and see how we will be entering the PM experience in the application. Here I have entered one experience, and you can see that let's click this and see the fields that are required to be entered. Here you will be defining your experience. It says that enter the details of your experience in the fields below. Project title, you will be entering your project title here, the project start date and the project end date, or it can be a current project. Your project role, your specific project role, what you did what was your major role in the project, and the primary industry in which that project was implemented. You enter this information, save, and then continue to the next step. So as soon as you enter your experience in the project PM experience phase, you get a list of all the organizations that you have entered, and so far I have entered only one. So you can see here ABC Limited, Lahore, Pakistan, and since you can have different multiple project experiences, multiple projects in one organization, so you can select the organization from here and you enter the experience. This here you will enter your job title, your organization name, country, address, etc. This information is simple. Just enter it here, organization's phone number, contact details, and the same, and then continue. Uh, Here you will enter the organization contact, the contact person, and the contact person's phone numbers. This is important, as we will later see that while after you submit your application, there is a process of review. And during the review, there are some cases when the PMI audits the information. In that, if that happens, if your application is selected for an audit, then PMI will contact the organization and the contact person that you entered here, and the contact through the contact details, contact numbers that you have provided. So it is very important that you give the contact numbers and contact person. You first should inform the contact person that you are entering his or her information in your PMP application, so that he should be aware, he or she should be aware when the PMI contacts him, and he should be aware that the purpose of the contact, and he should be able to explain your role in the project as you have mentioned in this application. So we will save it and then continue forward. Here you can see that there are different domain areas mentioned here. These are actually 5 domain areas. One is the initiating the project, planning, executing, controlling, monitoring, and closing. These 5 domain areas where you enter your experience hours and during this project. As you can see on the top, it says there and the number of hours you have spent working on each of these domains. This will count toward the hours of experience needed for the eligibility requirement. As we have seen that if you are a 4-year degree holder, then you need 4,500 of hours minimum in order to qualify to submit the PMP application. So now this is the information that I was recommending, that you should gather this kind of information before starting your application process. Gather all the all the projects, list all your projects, and in each of your projects, estimate the number of hours that you have spent initiating. And every domain area is actually defined here, and you can see these definitions on the PMI website as well, or if you have a copy of PMBOK, PMBOK, the project management body of knowledge, there also you can see these definitions uh, in the glossary or in the body of the text. So you get these definitions here, and according to these definitions, you should divide the total number of hours you have worked on your project into these 5 domains. Now, the important thing is that on all the projects, it is not necessary that you have worked on all of these 5 domains in all of the projects. But uh, as a whole, you should have worked in uh, all of these domains in different projects. For instance, if you have you can have a project where you might have worked only in the first 3, initiating, planning, and executing. You didn't have any role in the controlling and monitoring and closing of the project. But in a different project, you had a role in all of the 5 domains. So that is okay. uh, you cannot actually have you cannot omit a one domain where you have zero experience in all of the projects that you have listed on the PMP application. You should have at least some experience hours in each of the 5 domains. I think this is clear that uh, uh, you should have in all of your projects at least some experience hours in your in these 5 domains. So let's save and continue, and we now move on to the general description. It's a text. It's about 300 to 550 characters. You have to explain and describe your project in the way it is asked here. You give a brief description of your project here, and the summary should include the project objectives and your role, as well as key deliverables and outcomes of the process groups. Process groups are actually the domains that we have just seen: the initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, and closing. These are the 5 process groups. In each of the process groups, what were the deliverables and outcomes, and what was your role? Focus on your role uh, uh, more, and it says that the description should include examples of how you led and directed this project. Ensure that your description is between 300 to 550 characters. Save and continue. So we come back to this summary page. Experience submitted. We have submitted one experience here, and which is for 8 months and 525 hours. So this column is saying the actual, and this is the qualified. And since we have entered only one, so we have a total of the same total. And while we have a requirement of entering 36 months of experience, and we need at least 4,500 hours of experience. Now, it is recommended that if you can, you should you should enter the projects more than 500 hours, since there can be instances when some of your experience hours may not qualify for according to the PMI requirements. So you should have some backup hours more than 500. If you can enter 5,000 hours or 5,500 hours of your experience, so that you can have some backup, that if some of your hours are not approved, so it should not result in your application rejection, or it may it may increase the process duration. And the last row is saying that you still need to enter 28 months of experience, and you still need 3,975 hours to enter. Let's save and continue. And we now move on to the PM education page, and we go to this page as well to see what are the fields that we have to enter. So, as an example, I have entered these. This is this is the course title that you can, whichever course that you have attended for the PM certification preparation, the institute name, the course start date and end date, and the hours, uh, the contact hours. We provide 40 contact hours. You actually need 35. So you have 40 contact hours certificate that issue. So you enter this information and save it. And we will continue with our application submission process. So this is a summary. You have entered a total of 40 hours, required 35 hours still need. You don't need to enter any further PM education. So that is completed. And let's save and continue. So this is some optional information that you can enter here. This is about your, I mean, your employer required you for getting a PMP certification, or your employer suggested, or it's a personal development initiative. This is optional information. If you want to enter that, you can, but you can skip that. Let's save and continue. This is important information, and here you will enter the name that you want to appear uh, on your PMP certificate after you successfully take the exam. So this should be very carefully entered here, because the name that will appear on your certificate will be exactly the same as is entered here. When you save and continue, you will get a preview. So it's a double check. So there should not be any mistake, and you can avoid any complications, any complex processes that may happen if there is a mistake in the name. So here you can confirm that this is exactly how it will appear on your certificate. So you carefully enter your uh, name here. Now we save and continue. Okay, as the last step in your application process, this is the uh, agreement that you will be required to sign off. You will agree. You can. These are some of the codes of ethics and different details and different submissions, and some policy statements that you should read this agreement and agree it here and save and continue. So here we are at the last step of our application submission. But as you can see that we have completed all, but the requirements in the requirements, the PM experience requirement is not yet complete, since we have entered only about 500 of hours, while we require 4,500 hours of experience. So you will click on the PM experience, go back and add more experiences till the time you have some hours more than the required, which is 4,500 hours. And you can see that submit application button is not enabled. When all are completed, then it will be enabled and you will be able to submit the application. After submitting the application, your application will be reviewed by PMI. So now let's go back to our process, and let me share with you the process screen. And so we have seen the PMI registration process. We have seen the application submission process. The third step in is that when you have submitted your application to the PMI, then it there is a review of your application. And as I mentioned earlier, that there are chances, not every application is audited, but there are chances some of the applications are audited. And if that happens and your application is selected, mm, if that does not happen, and your application is not selected for an audit, then it is usually a 1 week process. Your application will be reviewed by PMI, and your application is approved, and you get an approval through email. But if your application is selected for an audit, then that is about 2 to 4 weeks of process, in which PMI asks you for some physical certificate or some physical documents that you will be required to submit to PMI for the audit process. And if that audit process is successful, then PMI reviews your documents and approves your application. And the approval of the application is communicated through email, and in that email you get an approval code from the PMI. That approval code is actually required for you to schedule the exam. As later in the webinar, we will see in detail how you will be scheduling your exam online at the Prometric site. And the Prometric site actually requires you to enter that PMI code that you get after the approval from the PMI. So I will stop here and now move on to the preparation process, because the scheduling of the exam is actually linked with your preparation. So in the parallel of this process, I will now explain the package of preparation that we offer. The First of all, when you we have different options that I will explain a little later for the preparation. There are three different options that you can select. Uh, First of all, there is an enrollment process, which is very simple. You just provide us with your first name, last name, and your email address. That is all that is required from you in order to register with us for different packages that I will explain a little later. When you enroll in our program, then let me show you the email that you receive, the information that you receive when you enroll in our program. Um, this is the welcome email that you receive when you enroll in your program, in any of our program, any format of our program. Then you receive this information. You get a login link and a username and a password. All of our packages are complemented with our online LMS packages. Uh, uh, and It will be a little earlier if I explain these things to you, because I will be explaining the different packages later in this presentation. But there's the For example, this is an example of a person who is registered in our 4 days classroom course. Now, 4 days classroom course is actually a full comprehensive package of the classroom preparation for the PMP exam, and it is added up with there's an add-on on it that we provide complimentary 60 days in addition to the 4 day classroom, which is which includes a full 40 contact hours video lectures plus 4 simulation PMP exams. So that is a blended comprehensive package to learn the PMP. That classroom course is sufficient, and it is self-sufficient to prepare the candidates for in order to sit in the PMP exam. And our boot camp, that 4 days boot camp, actually is capable of preparing the candidates to prepare for the PMP exam in the 4 days, and in the next week they can sit in the exam and pass the exam. That is a comprehensive package, and we prepare our students very successfully, and our success rate of the PMP preparation is 98.7%, which is pretty high as compared to our competitors. So this boot camp has two sets of courses. One is the prep course with 40 contact hours. The candidates, we provide this online access to the participants of the 4 days boot camp, and they do some exercises prior to coming to the 4 days classroom program. So they do some worksheets, which I will be explaining it later. This I am just showing the welcome email that you will receive. You will receive the login information, your username, and your password. So let's go back to our process map, and share the process map again. This is the next step is to complete simple online preparatory course and obtain 40 PMI approved contact hours. Now I will go into the details of this, the package for, and I will be explaining this for the 4 days boot camp, since that is a comprehensive package, and that includes both uh, um, the classroom comprehensive package, as well as the 60 days complementary package that we provide as in addition to uh, the the classroom course, and that is complementary. That is in addition to the that is a unique offer that we give to our participants, because uh, at present there are no other service the PMP exam preparation institutes that are offering this kind of service, the 4 days preparation, as well as a free 60 days full-fledged course that our participants will be able to use after completing their 4 days program in order to uh, uh, reinforce their preparation and use our very comprehensive and very intelligently designed PMP simulation exams. And those exams are not just exams; they are actually diagnostic exams, and they give you a review of each of your response to a question. You get a rationale of the correct answer with references to the PMBOK guide, and that is a comprehensive simulation exam that really helps you to reinforce your preparation for the exam. That is why we have such a high rate of success, which is 98.7%. So let me share with you the uh, the online preparation. The online preparation package that we provide. So when you register for the 4 days boot camp, we provide you this online course with the login information, your username and your password. When you enter into our VM edu and EDDS Consulting, our learning management system portal, you get uh, uh, this kind of layout where you can see that you have two courses here, which are active. Two courses. You can see that this is the one PMP Gold Plan 60 days course where you have all the you can see there are 12 chapters, 60 videos, and 14 study guides, and you have different questions, different quizzes uh, based on these 12 chapters. The other is that you have the PMP, the prep course with 40 PMI contact hours. Now this is, as I hover my mouse here, you can see that at 10 p.m. Study physical virtual classroom program. Now this, if I click on this, this is the course that our candidates have to complete before they come to the 4 days course. This course has different 4 steps. The number one step is the understanding of the PMI registration process that I am just explaining to you. This is the process. Step two is to complete there are different exercises that we want our candidates to do before they come to the classroom course, so that they have some basic information, some foundation are already developed, so that we can give them the utilize those 40 hours of 40 contact hours, and give them the maximum benefit that they can have. So we uh, through these exercises, we reinforce their basic concepts and some basic information about the knowledge areas that the PMI project management framework gives, as well as the process groups, the process chart, and some basic terminologies, so that they are familiar with those terminologies before they come to the course. And this is a strong recommendation that they complete the process. This process, these different. Here, there are three things. One is the PM process chart. This is a simple process chart that they need to study, and it is recommended that they, if possible, create that process chart themselves. There is a process document. This is a process chart, which is so that they can, if possible, memorize and recreate that process chart themselves. And this is the understanding of the process chart. Download the brief overview. This is a brief overview of the process chart, and this process chart is actually the nucleus of the PMI framework, and that on during the 4 boot camp days, we also give special attention to the practice of this process chart. So step 2 is that. Step 3 is about the worksheets on all the 10 knowledge areas that we have in the PMBOK. All of these worksheets contain different terminologies, different information flow charts, etc. And that is the basic information. And the objective of these worksheets is that they, before coming to the class, they should have some basic, at least some basic introduction of the terminologies, so that they should not be completely blank, or they should not be that the discussions that start happening at a fast pace during the 4 days classroom, they should be able to uh, quickly come to at par with the pace of the course. So and the step 4 is that now we recommend that you apply for the PMP exam before coming to the boot camp. Now that recommendation is important because from our experience, we have seen that some of the candidates, if they have not registered, if they have not submitted or scheduled their PMP exam before starting their preparation. So there is our observation that we have an observation, and that is a frequent observation. We have seen that candidates tend to procrastinate, and we even have seen the candidates who have done a PMP prep course, and after doing that, they have uh, not taken their exam even after 3 or 4 months, which is strongly not recommended. We recommend our candidates to actually uh, take the PMP exam at the most within 2 weeks after completing their boot camp, 4 days boot camp, not more than 2 weeks. So for that, the candidate must uh, submit the PMP application well before coming to our boot camp, and after getting the PMI approval code, they should have gone to the Prometric website and scheduled their exam uh, within 2 to 3 weeks after the boot camp that they attend. So that is very important. There are a lot of benefits of taking the exam as early as possible after you complete your boot camp, because PMP exam it is a tough exam, and usually the professionals who have spent about 5 to 6 or even more years in their professional life, they take this exam. And during the student life, we do usually have the stamina of sitting in the exam for 3 to 4 hours. But when we go into the professional life, we do not usually have that stamina, or we are not used to such kind of exams. So when you prepare for the PMP exam during the boot camp, we extensively take quizzes and do simulation exams. And after that, we have provided 4 simulation exams for our candidates. So that is complete that complete design is actually to build the stamina to take the PMP exam successfully. So it is recommended that the candidates should take the exam as early as possible after completing their boot camp. So this is the preparatory course that the candidates will complete before they come to the 4 days boot camp. So now going back to our process. And yes, this is also important. I want to give you a screenshot of a sample certificate that we provide. Here it is. We provide this kind of certificate. Here you will have your name as you provide in for the registration of our certification preparation package. And we provide 40 contact hours, and our certificate bear a PMI registered education provider stamp. Our course is accredited with PMI, and we have a registered education provider code, which is 2053. So our certificate actually provides you with all the requirements that you need for successfully for successfully presenting your PM education. So let's now go back to the process. We have for our corporate clients a system of reporting as well. Some of our corporate clients contact us for the certification preparation of the number of employees that they have selected for the certification. So in that case, the HR department of those corporate clients, they require some feedback from us about the progress of the candidate and the results of their simulation exam. So we have a comprehensive learning management system where we have some feed back from the progress of the candidates, how much they have completed the course. And I will briefly give you a screenshot of that as well. Now this is let me share that screen with. This is the brief progress report of the online course that this is showing the progress. These are the different elements of the course. The chapter video, and then the study guide, whether it has been read completely or not. Then there is a chapter test, whether the chapter test has been completed. So chapter test is 28% completed. So this is the layout of the report on the progress of completion. And the other thing that we provide in our package is the exam report. So this is the yeah. This is the simulation practice test result. the total number of questions questions answered correctly is 50%. Questions answered correctly number is 88. Questions out of 200 are answered correctly. And as you can see that the total number of questions is 200, while the questions used for scoring is 175. Now, I will be explaining later that the format is that PMI actually has 200 questions exam. But out of those 200 questions, only 175 questions are used for scoring. Well, what is the reason for that? I will be explaining later in a few minutes. So this is a detailed chart where the score in each of the knowledge area is given. The number of the time taken to complete the exam, the total number, the percentage correct in each of the 10 knowledge areas, and the other areas. This is the professional responsibility chapter, and one is the management framework, which is not a knowledge area, but there is a chapter on that. So this is the complete comprehensive trainee exam report. Now let's go to our process. This, as I have explained, that I am taking an example of a registration in a 60 days boot camp, since it contains both the elements, the online and the classroom. So let me show you the bootcamp schedule, and that is a simple schedule. As it's an overview of the schedule that we use for our daily classroom. So day one, we do some introduction, in the introduction chapter, the management framework, the integration chapter, scope chapter, and after that, there is a section and chapter quizzes. Within each chapter, there are sections, and after completion of each section, there is a section quiz, and after completion of the whole chapter, there is a chapter quiz. So it's an interactive and a comprehensive, yet it's a very rigorous program. And the total number of hours for each day is 10, starting from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we recommend our candidates not to schedule any other activity during these 4 days. We do not allow mobile phones, etc., any disturbances. And there is some home assignment as well. So this is a brief overview of the schedule that we follow during the 4 days. And if you go back to our presentation, this actually is I'm showing the schedule of one day here. We start on 8 a.m. and with only one break for lunch. We have small short breaks. Of course, this cannot be done that candidates start from 8 to 12:30. Of course, they need short breaks in the middle, and we give those short breaks. For example, here you can see that first of all, from 8 to 8:25, we practice the process chart, and then there is a 2.5 hours study of the introduction and chapter framework chapter. And after that, there is a chapter review for 20 minutes. And then after that, we give a 5 minutes break. And after that 5 minutes break, there is a test, and then there is a 10 minutes Q&A. And after that, again, there is a chapter study. After chapter study, there is a chapter review, and then again there is a 5 minutes break. There are different breaks, and we have a lunch break. And at the end, the day ends at 6 p.m. And after that, we give some daily home assignments. If we go back to our process, here you see 60 days online, which is a complimentary package. So now let me explain the different the details of this PMP Gold Plan. Okay. So we have already seen this prep course for 40 PMI contact hours, which is before the 4 days boot camp. And this is the PMP Gold Plan 60 days, which is complimentary in addition to the 4 days boot camp. What is included? Let's go into this. It contains 12 chapters and 60 high quality videos explaining the different concepts. In each of the chapter, you have different videos, and 14 helpful study guides. Total chapter tests count to 848 test questions. Then there are 562 terms and definitions, 4 simulated practice tests, which are complete, which are exactly same layout exams as it is used in the actual PMP exam. So you become familiar with the PMP exam layout as well before going to the PMP exam. These are 4 simulation tests. The PMP exam test is 4 hours. So these are 4 hours exams, each containing 200 questions. There is a one crossword for fun, and there is one page which explain specific exam tips. And here you can see that you have 12 chapters, starting from chapter 1, which is project management framework chapter, and then from chapter 2 to chapter 11, these are the PMBOK knowledge areas, the integration management, scope, time, up to the stakeholder management. Last chapter is the professional responsibility, which is about the code of ethics and professional conduct of PMI, and that is of course also important. But there are a few questions that come in the PMP exam, but that does not mean that it's not important. It's very important that it is followed by the PMI, and you have to sign a PMI code of ethics and professional conduct in order to appear in the PMP exam. So if we go into any of these chapters, inside the chapter you have different videos that explain the concept of the chapter, and you have study guides in each of the chapter. You can download the study guide as well if you do not want to read it online. If I click this. Yeah, here is the download PDF. If you click here, you will be able to download the PDF, the PDF of the study guide. Here you have the chapter test, and for the we are in the project management framework chapter, and you have total 80 questions for test questions. So you can, if you want to take all the 80 questions, you can select the number of questions here, and you can begin a test. And you have a podcast here. You can these are the links of the podcast, and you have a glossary of terms that are used in the specific chapter that you are in. You can select the chapter from here. So, and the other thing is the simulated tests. These are the 4 simulated tests that we offer, and this is the layout is exactly according to the PMI actual exam, so that you have a before going to the exam, you have a you get familiar with the layout as well. This is a crossword for fun. You have exam tips page. Then you have your certificate. You can generate your certificate from here. When you click download button, a PDF certificate will download on your computer, and you can save that. And here you can go back to the home page, where you can see your current programs. So let's now go back to our process. So the other option for the PMP preparation is the one-on-one PMP preparation coaching. For some of our candidates who are not able to spare full 4 days out of their schedules, they are too busy and they cannot afford, or their employers are not able to release them for complete 4 days consecutively. So they can we have a unique offering for them. They can benefit the direct interaction with the expert. That is a benefit of a classroom course. They can have that even in a virtual environment. So we have created a unique offering where we give a dedicated time to a candidate with one-on-one interaction. The expert of our expert trainer, they actually coaches the PMI candidate directly in a virtual environment online, according to the schedule that both the expert and the candidate agree on. They make a schedule for the 40 contact hours, and in the virtual environment, the experts actually give a dedicated one-on-one time for coaching the candidate in order to prepare him or her for the PMP exam. So that's a unique offering. And of course, along with this one-on-one coaching, we again offer a comprehensive, complimentary, free of cost, 60 days online package. That is in addition to the one-on-one interaction that the candidate have with the live expert, where he can interact with the expert, ask questions, and clear any confusions that he may have during the preparation. So that's a very popular offering, and we already have multiple candidates, multiple students that are already registered in the one-on-one interaction course, and they are benefiting from this unique offering. which is actually I can say that this is so far is a unique offering, and no one in our competitors is offering this kind of a service. Next is the step that when you are prepared. As I have mentioned earlier, that it is recommended that before coming to the 4 days PMP exam, it is recommended by us that the candidates go to the Prometric website and schedule their exam, so that they should follow a discipline, and there is no chance of procrastination, because there are experiences, we have experiences where candidates procrastinate, and they lose all the benefits, all the stamina, all the preparation that they get during the 4 days boot camp. With that procrastination of 3 or 4 months, they, of course, they are not as well prepared when if they take the exam immediately after completing the preparation course. So it is recommended that you schedule your exam before coming to the 4 days boot camp. But if that does not happen, then you can schedule your exam even after that, and take the schedule your date as early as possible. So we will now go into the scheduling process. Let me okay. Now here is the Prometric website, and all the links that I'm using here during this webinar, I will send an email to all the attendees that with the links that you will be able to use when you will require uh, the scheduling of your PMP exam. Now on the Prometric website, you have the test sponsor selected as PMI Project Management Institute. And this is a simple step-by-step process of scheduling your exam. You just click this schedule button, and this will take you to the page where you will select your country. Let me select a country here. Let's say Pakistan. And then click the next button. Now this is some explanation of the eligibility for the PMP exam. This we have already covered. And there is some information about the testing accommodation and what to bring on the testing center. How will you present your identity, your primary identity? What are the identity documents that are accepted, as that is a driver's license, passport, military ID, etc. These are the primary identities that are acceptable to prove your identity at the Prometric Center when you appear there. By the time to arrive at the, so there's some information that you can study here, and after that you click next. This is go to the next step. There's some policy information, and you go through it, and after agreeing, go to the next step, which is the eligibility information. Now here you can see this is eligibility information, which says that here you will enter the eligibility ID. Now this eligibility ID is included in the PMI approval website, approval email that you will receive when your application is approved by PMI, and you get confirmation for that. They will provide you an eligibility ID, and you will enter that eligibility ID here, and first four characters of your last name. And when you will go further, then you will be able to go to the appointment selection and test center. And let me show you that as well. Let's go back to the page that we and let's uh, let me okay, again open the Prometric page, and okay, there you are. Now let me show you those options, and we go to this locate a center. So let's select here Pakistan, and we click next. First of all, you will select locate a center, Prometric center, where you can take your exam that is nearest to the place that you live. You make your selection and then click next. Now, here you will select the exam that you want to take. We are talking about PMP Project Management Professional exam. Select that and click next. Okay, click next. Find the closest location. Please enter the preferred address, city, state, or zip code. Now let's enter Lahore here and search. So we have two centers that are near to Lahore, and one is within Lahore, which is Prometric Testing Center, Lahore, inside FC Foreman Christian College. This is Lahore. And the other is in Islamabad, Pakistan, Prometric Center, and this is the address. So these are the two centers which are near you. If you are in Lahore, that is the nearest to you, and you can get directions. And uh, after selecting which center you want to use to take your exam, you go to this availability page. Now let's go to availability and see what dates and times are available on that center for the PMP exam. We have entered into the seat availability page. Here you will select the month in which you are planning to take your exam. Let's say we select February 2017. Click go. So we have different days. These all these 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 14, 15. All these dates have seat availability. Let's click 1. On 1st of February, which is Wednesday, you have one exam scheduled from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And on 1st, there are two exam slots. Next is 1:30 to 6 p.m. So you can select any of these. Whichever date you with that best suits you, you can select that. Let's say we select this on this 13th of February, that the only one exam is available. So from here, let me take this schedule an exam. We have selected this. Now we will again move to that page that we saw earlier. This is explaining the PMI eligibility and different policies. And when we click next, we go to this eligibility information. Go to eligibility information, then you will be entering the eligibility ID that is provided by the PMI after the PMI approval of your PMP application. Let's go back to our process map. We have now, so we have submitted our application, we have scheduled the exam, we have completed our preparation. So now it's time to take the exam. Take the exam and successfully pass it. Then it's of course not the end of the process. You will use all that information in your practical project management career. Plus, there are some recertification requirements that when you pass your exam, a 3 years certification cycle starts, and you have to renew your certification after every 3 years. And for the renewal of the certification, you need 60 PDUs. PDUs is professional development units, and you have to gather 60 PDUs. Now, there is a set pattern. There are different categories that are defined by Project Management Institute, and there are some numbers of PDUs that there is some maximum number of PDUs that you can gather in each of those categories. Let me briefly show you that. Yeah. These are the ways to earn the professional development units. There are different categories. There is an education category, course or training. You have attended any course uh, that is related to the project management or any related discipline. Even if you are attending a meeting, activities or local events related to the profession, you can claim professional development units from there, online or digital media, or you have read any book or some informational learning. There is a category of big give back, which is related to your actual practice in your work, or you have created some content, you have created some project management uh, program or a project management, you have designed some training, or you have written some article or blog, or you have presented a webinar or have done some presentation. All that can be claimed as a PDU. So in 36 months or in 3 years of your recertification cycle, you have to gather 60 PDUs. And after completion of the 3 years, by submitting uh, some amount of research renewal fee, you will be able to renew your certification uh, for another 3 years. If the 60 PDUs are not collected, then PMI actually provides you some grace period to submit your PDUs after the lapse of 3 years. But even if the grace period is lapsed, then the certification uh, is aborted and is cancelled, and you will have to then retake the PMP exam as a fresh candidate. So this is the cycle, the recertification process, and if we go back to this page now, we have already seen this. Now, at last, I will touch some information from the PMP handbook that the PMI provides. And some useful information that I will briefly go into. This is the Project Management Professional Handbook that is available on the PMI website. Now, my recommendation is that for if you want to take the PMP exam, you should read this handbook carefully, and it is not very long. It's only 40 pages. You read it all from start to end. There is some useful information, but I will very briefly look into some of that information here. Eligibility requirements we have already seen. These requirements. There is only one important information that you need to keep in mind, that you should all have all experience and listed the work hours in all of the 5 process groups or domain areas. PMP exam fee is for the member 405, while for the non-members it's 555. Oh, okay. Now you get a benefit of $150. Probably earlier I mentioned that you get a benefit of $100. It's actually $150 of benefit if you are a member of PMI. And recertification, which re-examination, means that if in the first attempt you are not able to successfully get the certification, then there is a chance that you can re-exam, and the re-examination fees is $275. Now, one thing to mention here is that when you get the eligibility code after the approval of your PMP application, then you have a total of 12 months period when you can take the PMP exam during those 12 months. And in those 12 months, if in your first attempt you are not able to successfully get the certification, that then you have in those 12 months 2 more chances. So in the complete 12 months you have 3 tries. If in the first try you're not able to get your certification, you can go for a second try, and you can even go for a third try in the slot of 12 months. So it is recommended that you take your first try, you schedule your preparation, and you schedule your exam in a way that you are able to take the exam as early as possible. so that after taking your first try, and of course you will be planning to pass the exam in the first try. But if in case you are not able to pass the exam in the first try, you will have uh, enough uh, duration left in your 12-month slot, so that you can schedule a re-examination. PMP examination information is that I mentioned this earlier, that PMP has a total of 200 questions in the exam, but 25 out of those 200 questions are actually uh, not used for scoring. But of course, the candidate is not aware of which uh, question is to be scored and which is not to be scored. Uh, for the candidate, every question is actually uh, an exam question, and this actually is important for the background working, for the marking, etc. And this is information for some kind of uh, for survey. The examination is preceded by a tutorial and followed by summary. Now this is all important information, that when we prepare our candidates for the examination, uh, we provide them all the information that this initial tutorial gives them, and this tutorial also explains them the layout of the PMP exam screen. Since our simulation exams are designed exactly according to the PMI screen, and this makes them familiar. And this is not very this is a very simple layout screen, and anyone can just in a minute get familiar with that. So you have 15 minutes of time where there is a tutorial for the layout and the screen and different functions that you can use on the screen, and there is short survey, which is a total of 15 minutes. Now, in those 15 minutes, we recommend our candidates to recreate the process chart, and use that process chart is used in answering the PMP certification exam questions. This is the examination blueprint. These are the domains. These are 5 domains: initiation, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, and closing, and their percentage weightage. It's percentage of questions in the exam: 13% from initiation, 24 from planning, 31. The highest is from executing, 25 monitoring, controlling, and 7% from the closing domain. Examination eligibility: you have to present your PMI eligibility ID, as we have seen that you have to enter the PMI eligibility ID in the Prometric site in order to become eligible for the exam, and then you will be able to schedule an appointment. How to schedule the exam: this is the step-by-step process which we have already seen on the Prometric site. You go to the Prometric site and you can schedule your exam. PMI exam security and confidentiality: there is uh, some instances that people go to the PMP exam, they pass the exam, and then they come back and post some questions on the blogs, etc., in order to help others. But according to the PMI the policy, there states that I agree not to discuss, debrief, or disclose in any manner the specific content of PMI examination questions and answers to any individual. So the agreement that we saw in our process of application submission, that you agree, includes this statement. So it is important that and PMI follows that. So it's important that you can provide general information about the program, but giving specific contents is not allowed, as this statement says. There are some examination site requirements. You have to provide some identification. The primary identification is the driving license, military ID, a valid passport, or national identity card. These are the valid identity documents that you have to present. Any of that when you go to take your exam on the Prometric in the Prometric Center. And it is recommended that the check-in process is recommended that you arrive at least 1 hour before your scheduled appointment, so that all the formalities can be easily completed, and there is no rush, and you have a stable and no tense, um, no tension or stress uh, situation. You can calmly and comfortably go into the examination cabin to start your exam. Re-examination fee, we've already seen that. You have a benefit here as well for the PMI member. Continuing certification program requirements. We already have seen that. We have seen the document that the web page on the PMI website that details all the requirements and give you the different categories where you can claim the PDUs. PMI Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct. You can visit the PMI website, and here is the link given on this page as well. I will be sharing this information also with the webinar attendees. This is the Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct. This is a short document which gives the professional conduct guidelines for the PMP certified professionals. So that's okay. So now let's go back to our our process presentation now. So we have almost covered all of the topics that were in the agenda. We have covered the PMI certification, PMP certification process, the comprehensive course package that we have. Uh, we have actually 3 options available for our candidates. Number one is the which is the recommended uh, is the 4 days boot camp, and with that 4 days boot camp, we provide a complimentary uh, we provide the complimentary course, online course. And the second option is the one-on-one training. Let me go back to that. The process page. See here that the one option is the 4 days boot camp, and the other is the one-on-one PMP prep coaching, which I have already explained. The third option is that if the candidate is not able to even take out time to schedule the one-on-one sessions with an expert, they can benefit from our online course package, which is a comprehensive full course package, and it's self-sufficient. It contains a full length videos, video lectures, study guides, as I have already explained, study guides, chapter quizzes, section quizzes, and comprehensive simulation exams. So they can use our third option, which is self-paced and self-study course packages. And they are available in different access durations. For example, they can access our course package for 60 days, for 90 days, for 120 days, and it can be accessed for a maximum of 180 days, that is 6 months. So the most popular or the most popular package of PMP preparation is the 4 days boot camp. The next most popular is the one-on-one preparation, which already, as I mentioned, that there are uh, some candidates who are already registered in the one-on-one PMP prep, and they are getting direct online sessions, and they are very happy with the preparation that they are getting. So with this, we come to an end of our today's webinar, and I would require uh, request you to do send your feedback, and you can uh, enter your responses in a pool that is you can see on the top right corner, and submit your responses there. So all those participants who have attended this webinar, I thank you for your time and attending this webinar, and hopefully this will benefit you, and you will uh, be able to now better understand the PMP process, and of course we can assist you in your preparation in whichever form of course package you want to get it. So guys, thank you, and I will inshallah in near future do further webinars on the actual preparation for the exam. Okay, see you then.